good evening, and welcome to another episode of Mrs. Danielle DeVita. So, today I am going to go over 5 questions that you need to ask the person that you're dating to make sure you're not wasting your time. So many times we are in relationships where we're going on a year, 2 years, and three more, and all of these years, and you're wasting your time being with someone who does not want to be with you. So today I'm going to go over 5 questions that you should be asking the person that you're dating. This is primarily for women, but I think this is something that men could typically do as well. So if you are on, and this could be questions, some of these are questions that you would ask on the first date. And then I would explain the ones that you would ask at a later time. So on the first date, I think it should definitely be the first date. The first question you should ask is, what type of relationship are you looking for? The reason why this is important because you want to make sure that if you're looking for something serious, that the person you're dating is not, or the person that you're on a date with is not looking for something casual or just a hookup. So, or that this person actually wants to move into courting. Another word for courting is dating. When you're just talking to different people, you're not really trying to hone in on one person. So that's why when people say they're dating several people, it's impossible, not if you have a real end goal, because then that's too many people. When you're dating, you're trying to narrow it down. So after a date or two, you may naturally, push people out of your dating pool. When you are just talking and going on a dates every now and then, you're just talking with the person. If you are hooking up, it may be something that's just beneficial for whatever personal gratification it is. Um, but if you're intentionally dating for the intent for marriage, then you need to make sure that you're asking certain questions. Again, what type of relationship are you looking for? If there's confusion, then that's a red flag. It doesn't mean immediately you end it all, because there are going to be some more questions that you can follow up with. The next 2 questions would be questions that you can follow up with to make sure, if they can't articulate it, they can articulate it in these types of ways. So after you ask what type of relationship you're looking for, then it would be, what are you looking for in the type of woman you're what I'm sorry. Number 2, what are you looking for um in a woman that you're dating? What type of woman are you looking for? Any of these types of questions. This is important because you want to know what type of woman this person likes. If everything stays on the surface level, the superficial level about a, a woman's physical abilities, their looks, something aesthetic wise, then that's a red flag, because yes, attraction is important. But when someone asks you, what value do you look for in a woman? It should be more than just her looks. It should be more than something that's, sexual. It should be something like, her personality, her character, or she's fun to be with, something that speaks to something non-physical, non-sexual. There needs to be some components of that in there. Okay. The third question that you would ask is, what do you value most in a romantic relationship? This will also clear up some things that if you didn't get the answer you needed in what do you value in a woman that you're dating, or what type of relationship you're looking for, this should clear it up. If you're unclear, if it's confusing, if it's contradicting, then you can consider whether or not you may want to take on to date number 2 if you've asked this question on date 1. If you didn't ask this question on date one, you should ask it on date two. Because maybe if you didn't ask on the first date, because the first date you're just asking more about what do they do for a living, you're trying to get to know their mindset by them explaining who they are to you as a person. If you like who they are as a person, then this would be the next set of questions, especially if you're trying to intentionally date. If you want to hook up, then you're not going to ask these questions. Only the first one you would probably ask, what are you looking for? So you guys can see if you're on the same page of wanting the same things. Um, I know that sometimes people go on dates where they're at restaurants, they are on excursions, trips. I would focus on doing dates that you're um where you're less likely to talk to each other for a long period of time. You can't understand someone's mindset, what they want, when you are on an excursion, or if you are at a movie theater, if you are at a super nice restaurant. The reason why I say this, even me being married, when, like, for example, my husband and I went to Ocean Prime not too long ago. We also went to Eulalie's. And right before that, we went to Charlie's, I believe it is. Those restaurants are so nice that the ambiance kind of adds to the date. So you're like, oh man, this is nice. The waitress or the waiter is nice. The music, just the feeling of it is so nice that you kind of lose the um that one-on-one that you want. If you were at a restaurant where it was just basic, or if you were at a park, like I know when we go there versus when we go to the Riverwalk, which is an area where you're walking by the water. A lot of people are running, riding their bikes, working, and if you're walking, it's different because you're focused on what that person is saying, and there's not too much going on around you. So again, it's very important that you go on dates where you can get these questions in. You can't do that when you guys are bowling. Well, you can try, but bowling and skating and all of those trips and excursions would be better suited for a date 3 or 4. At least after you've had phone conversations, hour-long phone conversations where you can get these in. Dates where you're just walking and talking and there's no eating and all of this, okay? Um, so those are the first 3 questions. Question number 4 is something that you would ask when you are maybe like a couple of months in. Maybe he hasn't said that he wants you guys to be exclusive. You don't have a title to what it is you're doing, but you're acting as if you're exclusive. So you're consistently talking and dating with this one person. You don't know if he is also dating one person, but it's getting more serious. You're 2 months in. Maybe you've been talking consistently for a month. And it's not just every now and then. You're consistent. Almost daily, you guys are around each other every 4 days out the week. If you're 2 months in a relationship, you can ask, and this is a 2-part question. Question 1 would be, how do you feel about me? Let him answer. Don't interrupt. Let him explain how he feels about you. If everything, now you're dating 2 months, you're talking on the phone daily. So this is not a text. Your texting does not count. This needs to either be phone or video chats or in person. This is consistent. If you guys are consistently around each other, and this is video, phone, or in person, they should know how they feel about you. Question 2, part 2 of that same question is, how do you feel about this relationship? The reason why this is important is because someone can like you. You could be great personality, overall feminine, but the relationship isn't going somewhere. It's just like with a guy. A guy could be, he's great, but I just don't feel it, right? So the person could be great, could be nothing wrong, but you guys just don't click like that. Or the relationship could generally be okay, but there's some things about you that person doesn't like. That's why these questions are important. So again, question 1 is, what type of relationship are you looking for? What are you looking for? Question 2, what what do you value in a woman that you're dating? Question 3, what do you value in a romantic relationship? 4, it's a two-part question. How do you feel about me? How do you feel about this relationship? Again, this is something that you ask as time continues, and maybe you're 2 or 3 months in at a time that you would be exclusive, but he hasn't expressed it yet. You don't express it, but if he hasn't, you don't say, I want to be exclusive. This is how you ask as a woman about being exclusive. You put the ball in his court. So if you want to be exclusive, but he hasn't expressed at this time, 2 months in, 3 months in, you ask, how do you feel about me? How do you feel about this relationship? Then you can ask clarifying questions to see if this relationship is working out, because maybe at this time you guys should go your separate ways if it's not, if the party ain't jumping, right? And when I say the party ain't jumping, I mean the relationship. Number 5, this is a question that you ask, I would say, again, as the relationship, I guess you can ask this in the first few dates. What are your views or your thoughts about family in a traditional sense? Which means children, marriage. How do you feel? Because this is a way that you can know, does the guy even want children? Not saying that you're trying to have children with him, but his thoughts. Why would you want to go all the way through being engaged and then doing premarital counseling, you find out he never wants children? Or why would you want to spend a year with him to realize he doesn't believe in marriage? Now, I've always been told, my mom has always told me, if a guy says he doesn't believe in marriage, it just means he haven't found the right person he wants to be married to. Because a guy could tell you he doesn't believe in marriage, and then when your relationship ends, he's down the aisle 6 months later with someone else. People don't believe in marriage or believe that they want children until they find that person that they can't live without. So rest assured, when people say that, it usually means it's not you that they want to spend their life with, that they want to have children with. So maybe on date 2 or 3, maybe date 4, because after you found out this person's mindset, how they feel about relationships, what they want, then you can kind of get into okay, so what are your thoughts? What are your views about family in the traditional sense, like marriage, children? And not to say I'm trying to have those now. I just want to know what your thoughts are. And they should be able to easily tell you, oh, I believe in marriage. Cool. At least you know he has a mindset for marriage. And then if it doesn't lead to marriage in your relationship, it means it wasn't meant to be. So that's all I have for you. Thanks for tuning in. I'll have some more content that I have some other videos that I did that I'll be editing and put those out as well. Take care.